Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. Hey, I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering Hush, which is currently streaming on the ALLBlk streaming service every Thursday. This is episode 7 of season 2. This show is good. It's better than last season. You know, I think we were trying to really get to know the characters and all that. I won't say that characters developed, but it's kind of building upon what we do know. I think probably the only character that I haven't seen much growth in is Gina. Gina's been in the background, and we've hardly even seen her this season. But I think we know why, because of behind the scenes stuff that happened personally. So anyways, we begin the episode. Well, first, I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And anything else? I forgot. Like, comment, subscribe. Oh, share too. All right, so we begin. There's another sex party at the mansion, and Selena's looking down. Terrell Caesar comes to her and trying to cheer her up. And basically, he knows that Selena wants Paige. So Terrell's like, well, look, there's a woman right there. This one right here. How about that one? She says it's not the same. She walks off. Gina comes up and asks him what's up because she doesn't look right. And basically she blows her off. Gina goes into the kitchen, and of course, Iago comes in and they start having sex. But we got already a surprise. Guess who comes to the mansion? Alejandro. So he walks in and he sees Gina and Iago going at it. Ugh, and this is even before the credits start. Like, the intro starts, all right, so in another scene, in the next scene, Drea and Claire, they are meeting. Claire's asking, how's Lloyd doing? He's in recovery. And Claire is kind of regretting. She kind of wished that she was there to see him getting beat up, just because of all the ish that he has put her through. Claire asked, how did you find out that there was an attack on Lloyd? And she said, well, I did hear about it, but I think how Claire was thinking, like, did you have something to do with it? No. However, they start talking about, the upcoming debate, because Claire was like, I think I'm okay, but you just never know what's going to happen. Well, Drea offered some information that she knows about the councilman. The councilman has been making faulty test scores because he works mostly in the schools in the area to, I guess, help increase tests and all that good stuff. But it's been false tests to make it seem like the schools are doing better in exchange for money, extortion. So she says, if you do feel sweat or whatever, just keep this in your back pocket to use if you have to use it. All right, so we're at the police station, and two detectives are talking a little bit about having the ballistic results from the whole situation with LeVar. The other detective that I guess now is just a sneaky detective, a bad cop, here's the information. She ends up getting the envelope and linking that Link had the gun on him. That was the same gun that killed LeVar. So she goes and calls Mona, and Mona says, hey, we got something to tie someone to LeVar's murder, and it is Link, because she had his gun. And then Mona, she's getting all these flashbacks of when Selena went up into Link's room. I did not know this, but Selena did the whole gun switch without Mona knowing. But we'll find out that in just 1 second. So, of course, the detective's ready to go in and get a Link, but Mona said, hold your horses. All right, so Link and Terrell, they meet up. Terrell is saying, hey, Rashad from the south side wants this building. And Terrell says no. Link says no. Rashid basically saying, well, you do realize that I got kidnapped on behalf of what they actually want, which is this building. What's going to happen if I tell them no? He says, well, you better make sure that they don't do anything to you. Basically, Terrell's on his own, which is really crazy. Of course, he did thank Terrell for bailing him out, and Terrell said, "Well, Mona really bailed you out." And then Link was like, "Well, she owes me." I said, "Well, what is this all about?" Because it looked like Mona really held you down while you were in prison. But maybe we'll get some backstory or not. All right, so Claire is on CNA as she's kind of shifting her focus on what her campaign is on. She was able to be compelling to the audience, like, "Hey, I now understand what you have been through as far as crimes happening since dealing with she had to do with Lloyd, and I'm making it my top priority to bring the crime rate down." Selena and Paige, she keeps asking questions, and really Selena hasn't caught on, but she's still on guard and not saying much. She's asking questions about Terrell and all this good stuff. Like, "You're more questionable than my own husband is." Mona calls and asks for her assistant. She ends up leaving and going to talk with Mona and saying, Link is out, da 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 da. What did you all do in Link's office? She said, "The most I had to do is to get the paperwork for Terrell in order to get out of this deal with Rashid." And basically they're talking over, we got to do something about Link. Jordan gets in the car and is surprised because she didn't know Mona was going to be there. And Jordan called her by Gabrielle. Of course, Jordan's like, "No, we're not doing it with her. I guess she's the reason that she got that tattoo and all this good stuff." And Selena said, "Look, we're all victims, even Mona is, of him. And we got to do this. We got to take out Link." Jordan says, "You know what? If I'm going to do this, you're going to do it by the plan that I got." I mean, she has the most motivation because her sister was taken out. Julio, he's at home and he's being filmed. I guess this is for the reality show or for something else. I don't know. Anyways, Gina Mom's comes by and she's asking for money. The mama has always wished for a different type of relationship between her and Julio. I don't know what that's all about, but it's like, for some reason, everything is Gina's fault. And it's quite crazy. Julio says, "Well, your daughter's broke. This is all mine, my money, blah, blah, blah." He says that he's teaching Gina a lesson. What is that, Julio? Because you've done a lot of stuff to her thus far. Gina's mom ends up saying, "If I don't get any money, I'm going to end up exposing who Gina really is." And he's like, "Well, too late. She's already said everything about herself." And she said, "No, she hasn't. She only gives the camera what she wants to give. And there's a whole lot more to give concerning her." Q, he's following Maxwell. Maxwell goes into this club and he's going there to see a jeweler. Looks like he's buying a ring. I'm sure he's going to be proposing to Jordan pretty soon. What do you guys think? Q's there. He goes and waits in Maxwell's car. I don't know why you are leaving your car unlocked in Washington, D.C. Maxwell. That was crazy. So he's waiting there, and he got the gun in his hand. It looked like he's just waiting for Maxwell to come, and then he's going to shoot him. Well, Maxwell buys whatever he needs to as far as with the ring. He comes out, and we're expecting Q to be there, but he's not. Next thing you know, Q is in the building and wants to talk to the jeweler, and he hands out all his money, throws out all his money, and says, "I need to know all information about that man that just came up out of here, and there's more money on the way, if you need it. There's more money in this, if I need to give it to you." Q, I don't know why you want to stay around. We know that Maxwell is up to no good. Unfortunately, Drea is just lost in the clouds somewhere. All right, so Claire and the councilman, they do their debate, and then all of a sudden the councilman starts talking about the husband. She's ready to throw out the whole scandal of the thing. She just made a passive-aggressive type of remark to the councilman to kind of back him down. Q shows up at the debate because, of course, Drea's there, and Q's calls are not being answered like it used to with Drea. But it's like, Q, she did say you were fired. On that, I cannot fault her. You keep coming around. And basically, she's saying that she got everything handled. She's cool. Let her be handled and cool. And let her fall on her butt later on. She wanted to say, I think the girls are up to something as far as taking Link out. And she says, I'm well aware and I'm handling it. Let her handle it, cute. It's now coming off as you're very, like there's something wrong with it in your mind. Just to let you know. Terrell and Rashad. Terrell goes to meet Rashad again and says that there's no deal. And Rashad's like, if I don't get this deal, then I'm going to start a war, basically. Look, if we got to take him out of the picture, then we will. But it's like, if get rid of Link, they're going to start a war. And Rashad was like, I do not give a F about it. So Terrell said, let me try one more thing. And they said, okay. So obviously, I don't know why Terrell got into this mess with them. Because it's like, it looks like your life is on the line while you're trying to be the intercessor between these two. Julio. Okay, Alejandro has made it to Julio's home. He's already in there, seated, and of course Julio is upset. Alejandro says, I come in peace. They talk for a minute. Of course, Julio says, you owe me after what you did. And he says, I know. And he starts talking about how this relationship started is because Julio wanted me to look after her. And we just connected. And connected in a way that I never had before. But then he ends up saying, she really only cares about herself, and he apologizes. Julio says, well, you know that she's effing somebody else. And Alejandro said yes, because he agrees. He saw her doing what she was doing. Basically, Julio says, there's two things that you're right about. One, she only does care about herself. And two, I will never forgive you. Now, I spared your life because I didn't want our father to have to give condolences to. I won't be that gracious this time. If you ever show back up here again, I will kill you. I guess this is going to be the end of Alejandro's character. I mean, what's the point? At this point, I don't know. We shall see. Let's see. All right, so Jordan, Selena, Mona, Paige, and eventually Drea shows up to meet, and is supposed to meet concerning Link. Paige gets this unknown caller, and all of a sudden she says, let me get up, I gotta go, or something to that nature. She walks outside as Drea's coming. We find out that heifer has been working with Drea, and it was to get her to the place of being vulnerable in order to find out whatever information Drea wants Selena's undivided attention and undivided trust in her. See, that's why, to me, Selena and Drea are kind of the same person. And I think they see each other. And Selena's a lot more dominant and less gullible than the other ladies. So she was trying to get a way to come in and beat down her defenses. And so far it has not worked, even though her relationship is kind of a little rocky at this moment. So anyways, Drea shows up. Of course, Mona D and Drea would kind of clash a little bit. It was kind of funny seeing that information, but basically they just are coming up with a plan to end Link's life. Drea offers for whatever to happen at her studio. Happened during the taping. There's no audience, there's no cameras, nothing back there. So do what you do. All of a sudden, Terrell calls Selena and says, Rashid wants this building, and he's offering to take out Link. Then Terrell says, or Selena says, give Rashid my number, or whichever way. Basically, they're going to talk. So possibly Rashid is going to be the one to pop. What's his face? Link. I don't know for sure, or whatever. I'm glad to see in this episode Team Madison acting a lot more, because she's been missing a lot during the scenes, and her presence is needed. All right, so Gina and Julio meets with Drea, basically prepping to see what type of questions that they want to ask to be comfortable. Julio is quite a loose cannon and is trying to say a bunch of stuff about Gina to Drea, even though Drea already knows it, to embarrass her. Julio says there's nothing off limits on what can be asked to him. So we shall see what this thing gonna be. I don't know if next week's the finale or not, but oh my, I could definitely see the setup. Claire wins, and she's still the mayor. And Jordan ends up talking with Link because he needs to get the ball rolling of her linking up with dudes. And she said it's got to be next week because she's on her period right now. So that's how we ended the show. To me, it's a lot of suspense and buildup that's happening, which I do love. We can see some of the puzzle pieces coming together, and I'm in anticipation because I don't know which way it's going to go. But I did enjoy this episode. Shout out to the cast and crew and to the writers, directors, and everybody. I appreciate for what the art that you give. But that's all I do have. But thank you for coming to my channel. Please like this video and share it. You can also subscribe to my channel if you are not subscribed as of yet, and leave your comments below. And until the next video, peace.